Hey everybody, today we had two basic ideas. We spent the first half of class focusing on some more kind of fast Charleston, kind of intense Charleston work. A couple things that we talked about was having a nice, like real big pulse where you can kind of see and hear, you know, the heel coming up and maybe sometimes just the whole foot. And then once we start actually dancing, you're gonna have this kind of whole foot bounce. So it might look like, you know, a couple other things we talked about were, very big pulse, having this. We talked about leaning forward a little bit, right, having this sort of forward tilt. It's harder to do it here, easier to do it here. We talked about getting a little bit lower as well as going to make this easier. We talked about the arms having this kind of swing where maybe, you know, if we have a kind of center line in our body, maybe they'll sort of touch or cross a little bit, right? They're certainly not this. But this is, you know, one aesthetic you can try. I think that was most of what we talked about. And then we moved to the second part of class where we were back into that idea of like ideation and coming up with ideas. And the places where like soloing in jazz music sort of as an instrumentalist also kind of interacts with solo jazz dancing itself. And so we were talking mainly about the idea of doing 3 of one thing and then 1 of the other, right? So that could be 3 moves in a row and then a different move. And we also talked about the idea of contrast. So we did the same move the whole time, but we did it 3 times smooth and then 1 sharp, right? Or we did it 3 times small and then 1 big, right? So that's just a way to think about your dancing as a kind of structure. It's not, you don't have to use it all the time. It's not the only way to do it, but it's one way that you can think about your solo dancing is having this sort of 3-in-1 structure. Great. Thanks for coming out.